Warning, we are a spoilers podcast. At times we are also an offensive podcast. And we are most certainly a verbally explicit podcast. So if you fear for any of your delicate sensibilities, please back up now before you reach the point of no return. Alright, pussies, this is your final warning.
Welcome to another episode of Cinematic Anarchy on this 4th of July weekend. We are going to go ahead and kind of loosen the structure of our podcast a little bit more than it even normally is, just for the fucking hell of it, because, well, I believe everybody was busy, so if we could have crammed in a movie, yeah, I mean, good, fantastic. So I let everybody watch their own patriotic film for the weekend, and, so today, I'm rambling a little bit. I'm getting off track. My brain is not in place. Today, we have with us Miss B.
Hello, hello.
Mr. Omar.
Hello.
And joining us once again, we have Mr. Nathan.
Hi, fellow American.
Because, my dumbass slept through the last episode.
Right. Well, this was... We wanted to make sure we brought him back. We enjoyed having him back on the last weekend, so we wanted to have him back on anyway, and, well, here you are.
Yeah.
Here I am.
So yeah, it was just sort of, I threw it out there. I really didn't have anything in mind for this weekend. I had my daughter's birthday parties over the last 2 days. 21st birthday, so got to make sure that you get your kid nice and drunk. Fantastic fathering here.
Yep.
Drink enough so that you have to crawl to your room.
Crawl to her new apartment.
Right. Yep. That's coming up soon. So we'll actually have a full-on podcasting space in the living room rather than having to invade my son's bedroom every time we do this.
Nice.
That being said, we have all watched our own movies today, just to kind of loosen things up a little bit. We can discuss what we've been watching. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Miss B, because I know that you crammed in 2 movies last night.
I did that, and I don't think I finished the second one, because it was like 2 in the morning by the time it finished.
And let's...
I was a tired bitch, but... So, I just want to know something. How the fuck does Jeff fucking Goldblum not age a single fucking day ever at all? Like, okay, these 2 movies were filmed 20 years apart, and he looks exactly the same. It's not goddamn possible.
Hey.
Him and fucking Keanu Reeves don't age. It's not fair.
Outside of that haircut...
Whatever Pharrell has been drinking for all these years, that's why he's drinking.
Nah, they're fucking time travelers. I've decided it. You can't change my mind.
It's been 30 years. 30 years plus.
No, I watched Independence Day and the sequel that I didn't know existed until, last night.
You didn't know that the sequel existed?
Nope. I was gonna watch fucking Olympus Has Fallen and The Hunt, which I watched twice already during this week. I don't know if you guys have seen The Hunt, but you should watch it. It's really good.
I own it. I'm waiting to watch it.
Oh my god, dude, fucking it's so good. You need to watch it.
Which one?
The Hunt. Okay, so basically it's like these rich fucking elites hunt people for sport. And it's basically, the most dangerous game ever played style.
Wasn't it with Ice-T?
That's surviving the game. It's from what
There's one like that with Ice-T about human hunting.
But basically, it's a bunch of liberal elites hunting Trump supporters for comments they made on like Facebook, and it's really good.
I'm there for that.
But I'm not going to spoil like the ending because like there's a plot twist. It's good. Fucking.
Where is it?
Yeah. Anyway.
Where is that? On Amazon or?
Yeah, it's on Amazon for I think to rent for like $5-6.
I purchased it.
I'm willing to rent. I'm willing to pay $5 or $6 to watch people chase down Trump supporters to kill them.
But see, you don't know that they're Trump supporters until like the end.
Ah. Did they like literally? Did they mention that in the movie that they are Trump supporters?
No, not directly.
Okay.
No, they refer to them as deplorables, as gun-wielding homophobes, fucking, what is it, tooth-deprived something.
Okay.
Toothless bigots. That's what it was. But anyway, that's not the movie that I watched for this.
You watched,
you guys need to watch it.
The 2 Independence Day movies.
I watched the 2 Independence Day movies, and I was surprisingly impressed with the second one, you know, for parts that I saw, and didn't fall asleep through.
I have yet to watch the second one.
I'm going to watch it again today, later on, you know, after I take a nap. But, it was really good, and Liam Hemsworth, like, did a decent job. The graphics, the fucking everything was good. Fucking, I liked. Oh, they brought back the fucking the crazy scientist guy with the hair.
Brent Spiner.
Yes. Yeah. Fucking, they brought him back, and he had a major role. And apparently, he's gay, and I love it. I'm fucking here for it.
I thought they killed him in the first movie.
Nope. He was in a coma for 20 years. And then he woke up from the coma and had all these, like, visions, and fucking the president, the former president, who, you know, fought in the alien attack and shit.
Okay.
Is like, going through all these fucking, like, PTSD and mental issues, and fucking, like, his Secret Service guy is like, you need to take your medicine, blah, 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 you're freaking out. And he's like, no, you guys aren't listening to me. It's like, we're gonna die. And fucking, like, dude, it's so fucking good. Like, it, honestly, what was it? The first movie, when they took down the mothership, was it? I don't know if you guys remember if it was, like, a nuclear warhead to take down the mothership.
I think what it was...
Was it a virus?
The thing that took down the mothership, it was, them flying. There was a missile, I think a nuclear warhead, that they was still attached to the plane, and the guy flew it right up into the center of the ship.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the mothership that was out in space that Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith took down.
Oh no, I think that about the same thing.
Okay, because I'm over here like, okay, wouldn't these people? Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum were within the direct fucking shockwave from that warhead.
Right.
How are they not dead from radiation poisoning?
Plot armor.
Because plot holes don't need to be explained. I mean, it's not.
Realistically, they should have died within a few months from radiation poisoning.
You realize that you just used the word realistically in direct relation to the Independence Day movies, right?
Well, I mean, you know, it's kind of scientific.
I mean, I know what you're getting at, but I'm just saying, you know. For a lot of sci-fi films, you've got to kind of suspend your belief in reality.
Yeah. But either way, the second one was really good for, you know, what I saw. Fucking, I was, you know, relatively impressed. So, y'all should watch that one, too.
I find
fucking, goddammit, Jeff Goldblum never ages!
Have you seen him in The Fly, or any of the, like, his early movies?
I feel like I did see The Fly, like, years ago when I was still, like, renting movies from the library and I was pregnant.
You ever seen The Fly?
Oh my god, my boyfriend's giving me shit for not seeing The Fly.
The Fly was dope.
Have you seen it?
I've never seen it.
The Fly was dope.
You know what
The
it's
Fly was
about?
crazy.
Go
Because
take
it shows like little by
absolutely.
little. It's kind of creepy. The little by little transformation.
Go and take a look at some of these older films of his. Literally outside of his haircut, nothing has changed about that guy's facial structure at all. You don't even see wrinkles.
Have any of you seen Deep Cover
Deep cover.
with Lawrence Fishburne and him?
I think I may have, yes. It was a while ago.
He was a very creepy cokehead in that movie.
There's not a lot of movies.
And
Go ahead.
the acting was pretty good from him on that, because he was like, he's trying to, he seemed cold, but you could see like some deep seething issues with that guy in that movie. I loved it.
Fucking last night when I was, like, watching Olympus Has Fallen, Freda's like, why aren't you watching Independence Day? And then I looked it up on Amazon and saw the second one. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna watch both of them. And,
There was a
finish them.
sequel. I can't believe it. I didn't know about the sequel myself.
Right? But Fredo's over here like, Jeff Goldblum always plays the same character. He's a piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, fuck you, Jeff Goldblum is a national treasure.
Uh, yeah.
I don't know if we talked about that movie. Was it Hotel something?
Hotel Artemis?
They turn into a hospital for criminals.
Hotel Artemis.
It was Hotel Artemis. He was pretty good on that, even though you only see him like for 10 minutes of the movie. Like, all together,
All
the
these
times
Jeff
he
Goldblum
appears.
movies that I haven't watched.
We're figuring that out, right? There's a lot of movies I haven't seen either. Until I started doing this podcast with you guys, I did not realize how much I truly have not watched.
I think
You're telling me. I'm
Not
over
the
here
same
like
experience.
talking to my friends like, I've seen like all these movies and blah blah blah. I used to have those giant like books that you store all your DVDs in.
Yes.
I used to have like 4 of those that were filled fucking front to back cover with movies, and fucking like my mom used to collect DVDs all the time. And there's so much that I haven't seen.
Yep.
I think we've all had the same experience. We came into this thinking we've seen a whole lot of movies.
We thought
And it has become more about the movies we have, the huge amount of movies we haven't seen.
So, based off of what you just said, your review of those, very quick review of those 2 movies, 2 things. 1, I definitely want to set up maybe do like a trilogy, do the Olympus Has Fallen trilogy.
Yes, absolutely.
Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and then they just put out recently Angel Has Fallen.
Angel Has Fallen, yeah.
And then I was thinking, just after listening to you say that you have not seen The Fly, I would like to do a David Cronenberg double feature, The Fly and Videodrome.
Okay. I haven't seen either.
Both fantastic films. Not one of it. They're, for what they had available at the time, the special effects were fantastic in both of those movies. I mean, honestly.
Nico, you will love The Fly. The Fly is crazy.
There's a reason why
I'm
Rick
sure
and
I
Morty
will.
have a Cronenberg world. His movies are the reason why that world exists in that cartoon. So,
Probably
I'm
the
here for it.
second, might have been the second or third time I saw The Fly, as it was the first time I saw it, like as a more of a grown up. I was pretty young still, but I was grown. I wasn't a young kid. And I remember thinking, you would expect that this would go like most movies. The next day, he's a fly. The thing went super like gradually and systematically. They did an amazing job in that, because everything about him, like, little by little started changing.
right, it was a It's a damn good film, honestly, and I'm not disappointed because you're young, but we will definitely get you to watch that movie.
Oh no, I'm gonna watch it later today. Fucking Fredo's over here giving me shit for not having seen The Fly.
Oh, we'll talk about it. You'll see.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next film. I'm gonna put you up to bat there, Mr. Nathan, and go ahead and tell us what you watched this weekend.
Alrighty, well, I watched Hamilton, which is not a movie, but it's a musical, but it was filmed and released on Disney Plus the other day.
Yeah.
And it is 3 hours long, so it would be difficult to try to give any kind of plot summary.
That's another one that I need to see.
It had some good themes in it. It was very full. That entire 3 hours was like packed and dense and entertaining the whole time. So it would be impossible to talk about all of it.
Well, I mean, just a brief summary of what you felt about it.
Yeah, I liked it for the most part. The music was good. The acting was good. I mostly paid attention to sort of Alexander Hamilton's life through that. I saw an interview once where Lin-Manuel Miranda spoke about his inspiration for the musical. So he picked up this biography of Hamilton for some reading during some traveling he was doing. And as he was reading that, it occurred to him that the story of Hamilton is like similar to the story in hip-hop that a lot of hip-hop artists have. Like they rap about coming from a place of nothing and then coming to a place of prominence by writing verses. And Hamilton is a very similar story, coming from a place of just coming from a place of poverty, I guess, and then just being really good at writing and writing himself into prominence. And Lin-Manuel Miranda had written a few musicals before then. Most notably, In the Heights was another musical he wrote before that. So he realized there was this similarity, and then I would assume the very next realization was that would make an interesting musical, and also because the connection is between Hamilton and hip-hop artists, of course the music is going to be hip-hop, which is pretty groundbreaking for Broadway. Broadway is not known for having hip-hop.
Very
and
true.
then having a diverse cast play all the founding fathers and such is also pretty groundbreaking. So I can imagine this sequence of thoughts as soon as the initial inspiration struck. It's one of those ideas that seems like once you have it, you know it's going to work. If you can figure out how to pull it together.
And that he did.
Yeah. And there was some pretty good themes in it. One of the themes was that it's easier to win a revolution than it is to govern. And they played off with like King George III taunting them a little with that, like at one point in one of his numbers, it was basically like, okay, fine, you're free, but fine, you're free, but don't come back to me when you inevitably screw up because this is harder than you think. And they did. They certainly did struggle through it. And one of the things I sort of thought about was, well, of course governing is hard because you're trying to govern a large group of people who all disagree with each other and have different ways that they want to live their own lives. And maybe this is just my idea, but I almost question the idea whether people even need to be governed in the first place. Like, there are certain ways in which society operates which needs to be governed. But in a sense, all of that stuff isn't strictly necessary. We just do it because we've been doing it, and no one person has the ability to get rid of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're, for the most part...
Because right now, Seattle's doing this whole, like, autonomous zone where they're doing their own fucking thing. They're not governed by anyone. They're fucking, like, they're doing really well as a community that's, like, helping each other.
In terms of that Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone specifically, I did hear that has that did end, but that doesn't mean their efforts are over. They put together the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone as like a sort of proof of concept, like sort of experiment and demonstration to say this can work. And then, yeah, there was like a couple shootings that happened, but when you actually look into the nature of those shootings, they didn't happen specifically because of the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and it's quite likely they would have happened anyway. So, as easy as it is for people to say, oh, look, violence happened in the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, that means the whole thing didn't work. It's like, well, hold on, we have a whole lot of violence like that regardless. So if this is the arbiter of what works and what doesn't work, then it sort of seems like what we have right now doesn't work either.
Nope.
Yep, exactly.
Not at all.
It's an excuse to focus on something negative.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we want to look for a reason why this may not work or why this might not fit our agenda, so let's find all the things that might be negative about this, and we'll just kind of put those right out on its face. And we won't talk about all the things that actually happen to work. So, or,
yeah. And there's,
as you might call it, government spin and current media issues.
Yeah. And I did a little bit of my own research into. I found a quote from Thomas Jefferson about the National Bank, which Alexander Hamilton basically created, and that was his brainchild. So, quote, and with grief and shame, it must be acknowledged that his machine was not without effect, that even in this, the birth of our government, some members were found sordid enough to bend their duty to their interests and to look after personal rather than public good. So sort of right there you have it. Thomas Jefferson understood that Thomas Jefferson and the rest of the founding fathers too, they all understood that if you're going to actually have real individual liberty, you have to care and protect the public good and the general welfare. like if everyone just cares for themselves, that whole aspiration of a free society starts to crumble. And you could argue that, well, it doesn't sound are you truly free am I truly free if I have to care about what other people are going through? You could say that, and if that's your definition of true freedom, then sorry, you can't have that. That will never work. But the best thing there's still the next best thing, which is true freedom, with the understanding that there are certain responsibilities and duties that you ought to fulfill in order to protect your freedom to do other things elsewhere. And to apply it to today, this is really what sort of what wearing masks is with the coronavirus. It's all about. It's all about the public good, protecting other people. You don't wear the mask to keep yourself from getting sick. You wear a mask to prevent you from making other people sick because you might be an asymptomatic carrier and you don't know. It's this public good idea. You care about the public good so that so that we all stay healthier, and when we all stay healthier, we don't have to be in a lockdown quarantine. So this is like a very clear application. If you do this, if you just make this really small sacrifice of wearing a mask to protect the general health, then we can have the liberty of going out in public more.
Which is why it's increasingly frustrating when people buck that one particular thing. I mean, I see people outside here all day long. They refuse to wear their masks. Refuse. I don't go outside without it now.
Yeah, and they say, like, oh, the masks are all about compliance. And it's like, no, the mask, wearing a mask is what makes it safe to be more free and not just stay home all the time. The mask gives you the freedom to do that.
Right.
I don't really know how to...
You're explaining it well.
This idea that individual liberty means I've got mine and screw you is just... This is exactly the mindset that Thomas Jefferson was criticizing so strongly.
Definitely.
So to really bring it around to wear a mask is the patriotic thing to do if patriotism means you support your country. How about you support your country in terms of the people of the country and the general welfare, and not just a flag with some stars and stripes on it?
Well, I'm living on the borderline of a bit of that ignorance right now, because if you go over to the grocery store right up the street from me in Haverhill, everybody wears their masks. There's not a single person that goes inside that store that does not wear their mask. However, if you go up the street here, just over the border into New Hampshire, the live free or die state, 50% at best of the people are wearing their masks. It is not mandatory to wear your mask inside stores in public. It's just a suggestion. Whereas over here, they're telling you, hey, look, you got to do this. You want to come in the store, you want to use our facility, wear your mask, you're not allowed inside. Which I support fully. Because I don't want to get anybody sick, and I really don't want them to get me sick either. You know?
Now that you mention it, I went to the Walmart in New Hampshire.
Yes.
Yesterday I went, and I remember thinking of that, like, you see people without any protection, touching everything, talking basically on top of each other and not caring, and then looking at people that wear masks like we're all dumb.
Well, it's honestly, I mean, it's a kind of a misconception that's being cultivated by our own fucking president, to be honest. It's something that, well, you can wear it, I'm not going to wear it, I don't feel that I should have to, but if you want to wear it, go ahead. And it's a little frustrating that our own president is refusing to comply with something so simple, something that could actually save lives, and we're seeing millions of people contracting this virus all over the United States. Is it like hundreds of millions at this point around the world?
A very large number, to say the least.
I don't have the numbers in front of me because that's not the podcast that I was preparing for, in all honesty. But when you have a man who is in a position of leadership who's basically telling his flock of morons, hey, you don't have to pay attention to this, do whatever you want, it's just a suggestion that you put the mask on, when the public health would tell you, hey, no, this is kind of mandatory. Like, if you are asymptomatic and you breathe on somebody else, they're going to become, it's very likely that they're going to become asymptomatic, and then you're walking around for 2 weeks basically just spreading your stupidity around, so to speak. So,
and here's sort of the real tea. The reason you have Trump trying to bury the coronavirus, pretend it's not a big deal. Oh, it's just one of these days, it's just going to go away. The reason he's doing that is because this is the type of problem that requires a collective. It requires a collective effort where everyone works together to do their part, and it takes caring about the public health and the general welfare and mutual respect for everyone. And Trump doesn't want people to care about those things. Because if we care about each other and we have mutual respect and we actually stand for each other and fight for each other and help each other, the more we do that, the less we actually sort of need to rely on someone like Trump. And he doesn't want that.
I'm going to, before we move on to...
That's why he loves the poorly educated.
We got 2 more films to get here, but I want to say something before we move on to Mr. Omar's film. I think that his agenda is a little bit more devious. Do you think that he wants you to wear your mask? He basically has stock in a company that provides the medication to people right now for the coronavirus. One of the things that he's promoting...
Mind you, it's medication that that's been proven to not fucking work in fighting the virus.
But financially, he has a stake in more people being sick around the world than people being healthy.
Well, yeah, obviously, it's more profitable to keep people sick rather than fucking cure them of their illnesses.
So, you gotta... It's like basically, when we had Bush in office, and Bush has stock, or basically owned oil fields, it is in his best interest for oil prices to skyrocket, because that means more money in his pocket. With Trump, it's about the same thing. He has, money and he has stock in different pharmaceutical areas. It's in his best interest for people to be able to purchase that, or for that to go into mass production, and the more people that are sick, the more money he's going to make off of that. So, just wanted to... That was what was in my head. It's like when he's promoting his... What was that? Hydro... I don't even want to commit it to memory. What is that medication? Hydrochloroquine?
Yeah,
I think that's it.
He promotes that all over the place. Every time he gets up to the friggin' pulpit in front of everybody that's... all of his press conferences, he seems to figure out a way to just kind of slip that in, and how good that is. And
speaking of, shout out to the fucking Native Americans that blocked off the road for 3 hours yesterday during Trump's fucking Mount Rushmore speech.
Oh, that was crazy.
Dude, seeing that fucking made me so happy. Fuck yeah.
I've made my eyes sweat a little bit. Right now, remember, when you mentioned it, I got goosebumps.
Maybe we can talk about that on Tea Time. Nope, sorry.
I didn't even see that live, but when I saw it, I was like...
We can have a conversation about that on Tea Time a little later this week. Sorry we missed it this past week. 4th of July.
That was my fault. I was just being lazy, pretty much.
Well,
you got this.
Between that and I had my daughter's 21st birthday this weekend. You know, it was a little difficult to kind of connect. So we're going to go ahead and move on to you, Mr. Omar, and what you watched this weekend.
Well, speaking about stupid politicians, I watched The Campaign with Will Ferrell and Zach. I could write his name just fine, but
Galifianakis.
That guy. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a foreigner. Please forgive me.
It's not a gravy, baby.
But this movie reflects so much about politics, conservative and liberal, both sides, and it's about two guys in North Carolina who are running for Congress. And basically, it's a whole lot of slandering and dirty campaigning and putting out videos and just putting out there about each other in the most vile, dirtiest, down low, shameful way. But that movie, for some reason, as a comedy, doesn't get old for me. Because of the politics of it and the fact that that's actually how politics work.
No, definitely. It's all mudslinging.
Yeah.
Of course, they give themselves permission to exaggerate some things for the comic relief, the comic aspect of it. But that's no more, no less how that shit works.
Let's be entirely honest here. I've seen that movie, and while you can say that they gave themselves liberty to over-exaggerate things, after that last presidential race, do you really think that they're taking too much of a liberty?
Well, they're taking liberty, and they're not over-exaggerating. They're not over-exaggerating. They're just exaggerating a little bit for comedic purposes. But they're really not so far-fetched, not so off the point of what the movie's saying. It has, within the comedy, a very good message of, the integrity of a human. Because this guy felt he was setting a bad example for his son, and he goes to this son's house to make peace, and this guy, who is supposed to be a Christian, the goody-two-shoes Christian, get this guy drunk just to call the police on him, get him a DUI.
I saw some shit about Kanye West wanting to run for president or announcing a 2020 presidential campaign.
Yeah.
And
he's got to be the one person I won't vote over Trump.
That's the thing, though. Elon Musk is voting for him, and I want to die.
No.
Elon Musk is so much better than this.
I don't know.
Elon Musk is the worst.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's better than voting for Kanye West.
Well, we all are. That doesn't mean we're above it. All of us.
Elon Musk's public image is considered better than that.
It makes me gag.
But as with any person that has that much celebrity that's that well recognized, you have to understand that what their public image is, what their public image consultant puts out there for you to see, may not exactly be the truth of who that human being is behind closed doors. So you may be getting the spin of some decent human being, but when it comes right down to it, he may not really give a shit. Maybe he's creating this SpaceX program because he wants to fuck off the planet. It's like, I'm out of here.
He's got this public persona like he's the real-life Tony Stark, to the point of literally having a cameo in one of the Iron Man movies where, he's literally just buddy-buddy with Tony Stark. Like, oh yeah, we're in the cool super genius club.
You know, if you really pay attention to a lot of... I mean, did you read any of... how much of Iron Man have you actually read?
I don't really know anything about the comics. I've seen most of the MCU movies.
Fredo's like got this huge man crush on Elon Musk.
Tony Stark in the comic books has made some very questionable self-serving choices. And they kind of do that, show that in the movies themselves a little bit. But he's sort of, I mean, as with a lot of the Marvel characters, they sort of have sort of I want to say a back burner anti-hero personality behind closed doors, even though they're acting like heroes up front.
There is a realism to that because nobody's completely good, just like nobody's completely bad. I love that. But in the comics, really, Tony Stark is just as much of a rich asshole as most rich assholes you're gonna encounter or read about. It's really nothing too much. He does a lot of self-serving things, and with weapons deals that they show in the comics, they show like a lot of deals, like back, like under the table deals that he done and all kinds of stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
And his dad too. Like on the comics, there's parts where they tell the story of how his dad was even worse.
Well, his dad was I believe he was like a warmonger, wasn't he? He was into arms sales and all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah. He was a government contractor, but he also sold weapons to a whole bunch of shady sectors.
Howard Stark here.
It's all business.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to, I guess, my film, which I wanted to. I think I apologized before we even started, but I'm going to apologize. I had to cram this in because I had so much going on this weekend. I literally watched this when I woke up this morning. So I'd intended to watch it last night, maybe do a little research this morning, but I drank a little too much and I was done. So, anyway, I ended up watching an older 90s film starring Kevin Kline, Sigourney Weaver, and Vin Rhames. It is Dave, about a hapless presidential impersonator who ends up having to stand in for the president after the president has a stroke on top of his mistress.
Okay,
and ends up in a coma.
That shit.
And I think like I didn't get to research a whole lot of it. I loved the movie in general. One of the funniest things that I heard is when they were describing, they went to the media, and you know how they always have like a political spin on what the media is allowed to release or whatever. They basically have their spin doctor say, well, this is what happened. The president didn't have a stroke. This is what we want you to tell the general American public. And so they cut away to the media, and there's this woman on TV talking about this guy had just had a stroke, and he's like, well, from what the president's office is telling us, it looks like he was having a mild circulatory issue to the head. So that's why he passed out, and he's in the hospital. He had a mild circulatory issue to the head. And, but no, Kevin Kline, honestly, I really like him as an actor. I'm so disappointed that he hasn't done a whole lot recently. I think he may have actually retired from acting, because I don't see him in much of anything anymore.
Neither.
He played...
Oh, yeah, isn't he, like, super old now?
Kevin Kline? He's not... I mean, he's probably about as old as Jeff Goldblum. He's not, like, super old, but probably getting up there.
Yeah.
Just less
so,
chloroform injections.
Yeah, like, Jeff Goldblum doesn't fucking age, so you can't tell.
He tells you what his age is, but we don't really know that that's true.
Jeff Goldblum is forever 46.
He soaks himself in formaldehyde every night. That's absolutely not true, but, you know, who knows? I want to know what his skincare regimen is. But, no, this film was pretty decent. It had a lot of underlying things about corruption. His chief of staff, when this doppelganger for the president had to step in for him after the stroke, I guess his chief of staff and another gentleman were both embroiled in a conspiracy, basically trying to keep information from the public about a bank which they had been levying for contributions and payments to different campaign supporters. And the actual president in the movie was involved in it, but this guy, Dave, that had to step in for the president, had no idea what was going on. And so they're doing these rather devious things behind his back the entire movie, basically treating Dave as a puppet, which I really see a lot of our presidents as of late having been. You have a lot of presidents that kind of got into the office, and everybody behind the scenes is pulling the strings, and the other guy is just reading speeches on the stage. You know? So there's been a lot of... I see a lot of puppetry, and I see it more now. That's probably one of the things that I hate saying these words. I really do. But one of the few things that I can thank Trump for is that a lot of this stuff is up on the surface now and not buried underneath like it was in past... under past presidents. You know, a lot of people...
He has done an unintended disservice to the status quo of conservatism.
Well, I mean, a lot of people... I mean, it's on Democrats and Republicans' side, is that a lot of these things were under the surface, things that you didn't really know. And I don't think he's draining the swamp. I think he's creating a deeper swamp, to be honest, but...
Yeah.
At the very least, most people underneath him have not been able to hide their bullshit. It's been right up front. You know, it's been leaking out left and right. Hey, no, this guy's a real piece of shit, and this guy's a piece of work, and they can't hide it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that all this stuff bubbling up to the surface actually allows for us to make smarter choices as the general American public. Unfortunately... Go ahead.
Suddenly, so many Americans are seeing the boot where it used to have a shiny, clean polish and it looked pretty.
Yes. And we noticed it's dirty. Very dirty.
Well, most Trump supporters are willing to lick that shit clean, so...
Now, can I make a commentary on that? I don't...
Give that booty hole a spit shine.
I think that a lot of people that are willing to look past... what's going on with Trump and his supporters at this point, people that are willing to look at him and still accept him for what he's doing, are the kind of people that also have plenty of shit that they're hiding and would like to be forgiven for themselves.
Exactly.
You know, you go, hey, it's
the most part.
I'm looking at you, Aunt Kathleen.
Oh, are we bringing her up now? Are we? Do we want to do that?
Fucking
Wait,
racist
just
bitch.
Man, we go in on her. Just say the word.
Like, are we taking those gloves off right now?
Kathleen's a total Karen, and I've got an Aunt Karen.
No, sorry, Kathleen gives Karens a bad name, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
I've read a few things, I've listened to a few things, and the impression that I get is this is the kind of person that really needs to take a good, long, hard look at the mirror and decide whether or not they want to retract from American public.
Yeah, right?
Pardon me while I drink some water.
You good?
That's not chronic.
I got a little long-winded, forgot to take a sip of water. And dry throat.
To breathe.
Whew. You ever do that where you're talking so much that you realize you should take a sip of water, but you want to get that last thought out before you start choking?
Yep.
That is exactly what I just did. Exactly what I just
did. It happens after certain long tokes.
No, I wasn't coughing because the word Kathleen kept coming out of my mouth.
That might cause it too.
Leaves a bad taste.
Yeah.
Only in association with that Kathleen so far.
I have a very good friend from work that I love dearly. She has an Aunt Kathleen. Her name is not Kathleen. I'm not going to say no names because I haven't been, given permission to. But yeah. I had a basically 24-hour long argument the other day on Facebook of a few things, kind of like what you went through with your aunt. And yeah, some of these people, like, they're willing to be blind to so many realities just to prove a point.
We're going to hashtag this. We're going to hashtag this. I think that we create a new thing for something that is worse than being a Karen. You're a Kathleen.
You're a fucking Kathleen.
Yo, that's the idea.
I'm here for it.
So I'm gonna hashtag that on Twitter later on today when I put this out. We'll just add that right underneath there.
Hashtag fuck you, Kathleen.
Hashtag fuck Kathleen's and Karens.
Being a Kathleen. All right, I think that's a good way to fall into our sponsorship segment before we end up at the second half, and we are doing a bit of a pitch storm today. We might even get in two if we can manage it. All right.
I love pitch storm.
Right.
I may have to switch my headphones.
Well, you do what you need to do. We'll have a quick break right now, and we'll be back. All right, welcome back. We have finished with our sponsors or sponsor. I don't know how many we have at this point. Hopefully more. But right now I think we have just one, and we're moving towards more.
Still not as many as we deserve.
We have our pitch storms picked out for the day. We have to find local sponsorship. We got to stop relying on other podcasts to pay us to advertise them. We got to find some local sponsorship. Talk about Joe Schmo's Bar and Grill or something. Just promote them on the podcast to all of the 20 listeners that we have right now.
Eat us Schmo's.
Rest in peace, Podcoin, the one place that gave us some really decent promotion and let us get our podcast out there. If something like that ever pops up again, I'm going to latch on like a devil, I'll tell you that. That being said,
I hate how they did away with that.
Well, it was a losing format. Think about what their format was. Their format was paying you to listen to podcasts. You listen to podcasts and you got paid basically for that. But they didn't have a way to take in money themselves. So without actually making money for themselves, how in the hell were they expecting to continue to pay out to get people to listen to podcasts? They had to have what they should have done was they should have charged us as the creators of the podcast to promote, like what we did when we basically promoted Podcoin for them for a while to bring people to the site. What they should have done was they should have set it up so, like, say, instead of asking us to promote them, say, hey, we're going to promote you, but also, like, say, for $10 a month as a subscription, we'll keep you up in this top feed here, or maybe a little bit more than that. $10 seems cheap for that. But to make sure that your podcast is listed prominently.
So they both sponsor you and charge you?
I mean, when you look at it, like what they were doing is what they were basically your sponsor, and they put your information up in the feed. So, like, say I wrote to them and I proved to them that they're on our podcast. Basically, we have them in the sponsorship area. They'll listen to where it is, basically make sure that you're actually putting their information into the podcast, and then they promote you. They put you up in the feed. But they're not making any money themselves that way, so they should make it sort of an option, like, hey, look, if you want to pay $10 a month or whatever, we will promote you here. We'll basically put you up here in the new and noteworthy feed so people can find you more easily rather than being buried in obscurity. Which is why that was working for a little bit, but without them being able to take in any kind of income, they're just paying out. That's it. And that was what killed them, is they're paying out all the time and they weren't making any money. So, it's a great idea in theory to pay people, but if you're paying people and you're not getting anything in return, you're doomed to failure at that point.
Yeah.
So long and thanks for all the fish, I guess.
Douglas Adams fan. Yes?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into our first pitch storm. The premise to this one is a little girl and her dog hunt a killer with the help of a devious cannibal. And the notes here say, can you make the love interest a super creepy monster? So I'm going to take out the word little.
Okay,
I'm going to take the word little out of this. We're not going to make it a little girl with her dog because little girl with her dog and a love interest just sound weird.
Well, no, make the serial killer fall in love with the monster.
Or the devious cannibal.
There you go.
This is a basically.
It doesn't have to be the kid that falls in love with something.
That's very true. Could be the dog. I mean, dog could have a.
There you go, fucking. But no, I want Lulu Wilson as the kid.
Lulu Wilson. Okay, you're gonna have to educate me.
You haven't seen Becky yet.
Huh?
You haven't seen Becky yet, but this movie came out this year with Kevin James.
Okay.
He plays a Nazi.
I have heard of this movie.
And fucking like he plays a really good, intimidating character, by the way. But Kevin James plays this Nazi, and he's like looking for this key with a couple of buddies. They break out of prison and fucking they like kill this little girl's father trying to fucking find this key that she has earlier in the year or some shit, and she's just all kinds of fucking angry at the world already. And they just killed her only living parents, so she just fucking like loses her fucking mind and goes like full on Home Alone murder spree.
That's Becky.
So
Really good fucking movie.
Is that Becky?
Yeah, it's Becky. Fucking it's on Amazon.
Okay.
But y'all need to watch that shit. It's really fucking good. And Lulu Wilson, by the way, like she sings a little bit in the movie, and like, goddamn.
Really?
Yeah.
I just realized where I recognize her
Isn't
from.
that the little girl from Annabelle?
I think so. Yeah.
I realized where I recognized her from. Well, I do understand that she's in Annabelle. I watched a pretty bad fucking movie with her in it. Which is hard for me to say because I like Lou Diamond Phillips, but Lou Diamond Phillips starred with Lulu Wilson in a really bad sequel to Cop and a Half. You remember Burt Reynolds did an older film called Cop and a Half, where he
I wouldn't know because I didn't watch it.
Probably not.
Yeah.
It wasn't. The first one was not a great movie to begin with. Like, he had already killed his career and went into obscurity for a while, and then he brought it back, and then almost immediately killed off his career again. So...
yeah, it was that bad. I remember Cup and Half.
So yeah, no, that's where I remember her from. She played the kid alongside of Lou Diamond Phillips as the cop. And Lou Diamond Phillips, honestly, is a fantastic fucking actor. But he has gotten stymied by just shitty role after shitty role that he has agreed to do. It's like, I need money, so I don't care. I'm going to just do this.
Yeah.
So, alright, so we got Lulu Wilson as the little girl. I want the dog to be CGI. We're gonna really fuck this movie up. Okay?
Oh, god damn it.
That's what we like to do, though. We like to fuck up movies. So
we got a hyena.
We got a little girl and her dog, right? So basically, we've got
a hyena.
A hyena. Can be any kind of dog, so we can make it a hyena. This is basically like
the
young incarnation of Harley Quinn.
Yes.
We could
make a hyena. I just watched Birds of Prey, so like.
I mean, you could even do something similar to that. Just kind of have her like a kind of crazy, malevolent kid. You know?
She does really good as a crazy, malevolent kid.
I'll see that when I watch the movie.
Yeah.
But we CGI the hell out of this dog.
I think the cannibal should be Jim Carrey.
Okay. Who do you want for the cannibal?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey as the cannibal?
Yes.
Jim Carrey as the cannibal. Okay. And they're hunting a killer. I want this person to be like the most unsuspecting killer, like somebody that you would not think of as a murderer at all. Somebody that like we did with the last podcast, Nathan, when we were talking about the devious sex cult, that we cast everybody in there that you just could not see as a sexual deviant.
What's her fucking name? Oh, god damn it. Leslie Knope!
Yes, that would actually do pretty... There's not a lot of female serial killers. There really aren't. It's not that the female serial killer is really not a thing, for the most part.
God, what's her fucking name?
Leslie Knope.
Amy Poehler?
Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler,
There we
yes.
go. Yes, Amy
Thank
Poehler.
you.
Okay. So Amy Poehler as the killer that they're hunting. We have Jim Carrey as the cannibal, Lulu Wilson as the little girl, and we have a dog, a CGI'd hyena, which I feel needs to be able to communicate with her mentally.
Okay. No, it just makes the little hyena laughing noise. She's like, understands it completely.
Right. Well, yeah, kind of like Groot.
Yeah.
Where it only really makes one noise, but she can communicate with it. She knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
So they have sort of a connection.
And she has,
They
she
have
like
full
bickers with
conversations
the
on
hyena
that
and
one
shit.
little sound.
And we pull in a very prominent actor just to make hyena noises. Kind of like they had...
Also Jim Carrey.
Also Jim Carrey?
Also Jim Carrey.
Why not? Why not? Because... Ooh, there goes the coffee. I'm gonna... Jeez, dry throat all over today. Wow.
I would like it to make that the animal at the end could speak. That the animal could speak all along. Sometime closer to the
It
end.
chose not to.
Just chose not to for shits and giggles.
Just the silent bob of hyenas that just has this really prominent moment at the end where it gives this kind of heartfelt speech and then goes back to giggling.
Eloquently speaking.
It's like the hyena giggles at choice moments, so you sort of think maybe the hyena actually gets the joke and the funny things that are going on, but you're not quite sure until he actually says something at the very end.
Okay. So now we have to have a love interest for the devious cannibal. What if the love interest is the killer? So Leslie Knope, basically, Amy Poehler, is the former girlfriend, and the devious cannibal is basically the jilted lover who got sent to prison for her crimes. And he's a criminal himself, but he got sent to prison for what she did, not for what he actually had done.
All right.
And he agrees to help this girl find her because, well, let's see, what would prompt a little girl to want to find this killer?
Amy Poehler.
The obvious answer
seduced
is
and
the
killed her
killer
father.
killed someone.
One step better. She did not seduce and kill the father. She seduced and kidnapped the father. And currently has...
Okay.
Because she plans on making this guy the next fall guy for what she's doing. That's what she does. She basically seduces
Black
guys.
Widows them.
Like a Black Widow kind of thing. But what she does is she seduces them specifically so she has somebody to blame or frame for her crimes.
Yeah.
And with him currently, the cannibal currently in prison, she needed somebody new, and it was her father. Played by...
Yeah.
Gotta think of a played by here.
Oh, so the...
Fucking...
Luke Wilson.
Oh, God.
No?
No.
Just some goofy hapless sap. Come on. I'm trying to... Oh, you want Will...
Okay, but Luke Wilson...
Go get Will Arnett. He plays fantastic
Yes,
opposite of her.
Absolutely. Will Arnett.
He's been in a couple of things opposite of her that he was just fantastic in. And I honestly think that guy does not get enough play at all. Will Arnett's funny as hell. If I'm not, am I mistaken? He was like opposite of her in Blades of Glory.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. They were the skating couple outside of John Hader and Will Ferrell. Okay. So we got Will Arnett basically being the hapless lover to this girl, and basically he left his daughter behind to follow her across the country on a killing spree, which he does not know is happening. And she is doing things like using his credit card, doing other things to kind of frame him for the murders that she's committing.
I can see, like, him being completely ignorant to, like, the whole situation and just, like, doesn't know what fucking happened. Just, like, oh my god. Just thinking about Will Arnett going through this whole thing, just fucking not knowing what's happening. It's
sort
completely oblivious.
A Love is Blind kind of situation. I'm trying to figure out how I'm trying to figure out how to explain the hyena, though. Like, there has to be a backstory for why this girl has a hyena as a pet.
No, that's the funny part about it. There's no backstory. You don't know why. She just has a fucking hyena.
It's just,
That's the joke that the hyena keeps laughing at the whole time, its own existence.
I think, actually, we should make it that people ask her about the hyenas. They just don't ask stupid questions every time.
No, nobody asks. They just they know it's there. They just kind of ignore that it exists.
Nah, I would like people to just ask, and she just brush them off.
Just
leave you wondering what the hell with this hyena.
And like each news story is more ridiculous than the last.
Right, she comes up with some kind of yeah, I like that. Just kind of comes up with excuses for why the thing exists.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the very last one she comes up with, which is the craziest one, turns out to be the closest to the truth.
Yeah.
It's like I was raised by hyenas. Okay, I like
the fact when the hyena finally talks, get mad at the hyena. You know I've been lying about you all this time. And you've been keeping this from me.
Now, this devious cannibal who's currently... So he's in prison for her crimes. So what does she visit? Do we feel like she's visiting him in prison to get information on his ex? And then after she goes out after him, this is his one phone call a day. He talks to her. And kind of gives her information on how to hunt this girl down. It's like, well, this is her pattern. This is the route that she follows, from coast to coast. And she's smart. She doesn't stay in one place. She just moves constantly. It sounds like a big budget thing too, because that's a lot of you gotta cover a lot of ground if you're going coast to coast.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we're not actually making this movie. We're just discussing it. Right. Somebody else can make it.
Nah, one of those things is gonna become something one of these days. We should give it like a cinematography, like when they did the Riding Hood kind of horror type movie that they did.
Okay.
Make it look like that.
Yeah.
And
make the hyena has the scariest eyes too.
All the better to see you with, my dear. Okay, I think we've kind of run the gambit on this particular idea here. I think we fleshed that one out pretty well. We're going to go ahead and move on to the second set of cards. Oh, goody. I didn't read this one first.
I feel like this is going to be terrible.
It is, but it isn't. A foul-mouthed mercenary with healing powers, a.k.a. basically friggin' Deadpool, or even could be Wolverine for that matter, learns that they are heir to the throne of an ancient kingdom. And then the notes on this says, we really want to appeal to families and young children. So foul-mouthed mercenary for children.
So Deadpool?
Huh.
Well, Deadpool wasn't really appealing to families and young children. I mean...
Oh, come on. He totally was.
Very much so.
He was, but he didn't want to be.
Definitely did not want to be. Uh,
That wasn't his intention, but yeah, definitely was.
Yeah.
I want to say I like the idea of having sort of a Deadpool-esque character that is forced to keep his foul mouth in check no matter how much he wants to use it. And then near the end of the movie just is done and just lets out a stream of obscenities. Just done. Fuck this,
You know
fuck
who I
that,
like
fuck
for
you
that?
and all you fucking fucks, just...
You know who I like for that?
Who do you like for that?
Will do good, because he's done all kinds of stuff. Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx. Just, okay. So
Yep.
Jamie Foxx, we got a Deadpool-esque character. So he's a mercenary who can heal quickly.
Yeah.
So basically his power is the ability to heal. I wanna say that he's a mercenary, but he's a mercenary that refuses to use actual weapons.
Okay.
So he's all hands-on, like hand-to-hand combat.
Like, yeah, he bludgeons people to death.
Which is because he knows that he has this healing power, this quick healing power, so he feels I don't need weapons. Why would I need weapons if I can just walk up to you and snap your neck,
Yeah.
Do you guys remember his character in Horrible Bosses?
Motherfucker Jones. Yes.
A guy kind of like that, super smooth but very serious.
I'm getting that feel, like almost a Motherfucker Jones, or even a Shaft kind of character, really, but with healing powers. Well, Shaft is more. He's not really hands-on. Shaft uses a gun. So, okay. So
the original Shaft, though, from the 70s movies, it was mostly like fist fighting people, almost the whole thing. It was beating people up left and right.
So, like, I'm getting a feel like this is sort of Deadpool meets what was that movie? Bulletproof Monk, almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so he is heir to an ancient kingdom, the throne to an ancient kingdom, and there are people that are definitely. I want to cast in the lead as the villain, the one that is trying to keep him away from the throne, trying to basically make it so that he can't ascend the throne. Jackie Chan as the villain.
Jackie Chan will do it too.
Because the idea of a hand-to-hand combat scene between Jackie Chan and Jamie Foxx, I like that idea.
Jackie Chan's sidekick to be Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, the only reason he exists in this movie is to basically be the commentator for Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
He basically is commentary for everything that he does.
He just follows Jackie Chan around all the time.
He basically does
With
live
his megaphone.
commentary on all of his shit, you know.
Runs around with a megaphone and a recorder or something.
And this is the guy that if Jamie Foxx does not ascend to the throne, basically he's next in line to ascend. Basically, he will be the ruler and or emperor of this particular kingdom. It's like some obscure kingdom in buried buried between China and Russia.
Okay.
That's what I got the
Tucker
feeling.
character really reminds me of like the thing in Monty Python where that bard kept following King Arthur around.
That just sang everywhere he went.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really love the bard in fucking Witcher.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm having trouble
that
hearing
sings
you
the
again.
song
this
everyone
week.
knows.
Yes. You was not your host. Go get in this chest.
Okay, I'm trying to think of some other interesting characters to add to this particular situation. So we have somebody that's traveled from this section of China that's trying to help him ascend the throne. I want somebody like just dead serious. No goofy quality to him whatsoever. Just somebody that's always been seen as dead serious.
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler would work. My thought was way off. Way off from Gerard Butler. Way off.
What's the name of the guy? He was in Doc Strange movie. And Endgame for a little cameo. He also played the Khan in Marco Polo on Netflix. I don't remember the guy's name.
Oh.
He could be the guy that came from China to help.
Which character in Doctor Strange?
One of the guys that kept the temple.
Wasn't he basically the guy that kind of helped train Doctor Strange a little bit?
Yeah, him. Let me see. Let me look the guy's name.
It's like I'm gonna have to. I was gonna say I'd have to look that up too.
Oh.
I know who you're talking about. Okay, Benedict Wong, who actually played Wong in the movie.
Nice.
That's who you're talking about. Yeah, I could see that.
Right.
Okay, Benedict Wong. And there's got to be. I don't want to make this too convoluted either. So this is an ancient kingdom. He's trying to ascend the throne. Benedict Wong's bringing him over to this remote area right next to China to try to ascend the throne. Jackie Chan is completely opposed to it because he wants the throne to himself. And Chris Tucker is basically the comedic fodder for this entire movie. I want to say like everything is dead serious until Chris Tucker talks.
I don't know where she'll fit in, but I want fucking Anna Faris somewhere in there.
Anna Faris. That's a good question. Okay, so basically, let's see. They have this.
Anna Faris and Chris Tucker are like married or some shit.
So Anna Faris is just like with Chris Tucker at all times.
Yeah, she's just standing there like, oh my god.
I'm trying to talk here.
She's
Can you
peanut
back off?
gallery.
She keeps trying to like poke in on the commentary every once in a while, and he says, "Can you stop? Stop!
Yeah, exactly. Why the fuck am I with you?
They get it. There's a fight scene going on, and they're having a marital spat in the background. You can't even hear the fight scene. You just hear them just going off on each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, probably like the most climatic fight, like, you know, when the movie reaches the climax where they're really going at it. There's the main character and the villain, and he's basically, you don't hear the punches going on because they're bickering.
Okay. So I'm feeling like this happens like through the entire movie. Like they're constantly bickering. They get into fights while he's basically doing this weird ass commentary. And but
at the end, they're really getting to it.
So at the very end, when they're really, really getting into it, like there's this knockdown, drag out fight that you see going on in the background of the actual fight, and Jamie Foxx and Jackie Chan just stop dead, and they're watching this fight go on.
At some point.
And
they fight for a good 5 minutes before they stop.
Jackie Chan just excuses himself for a minute, takes both of them out, and then they get back into the fight.
So they fight for a good 5 minutes. They're like going at it. But you don't hear anything of what's going on because this couple is bickering away.
That's what I was saying. Like Jackie Chan just has enough of it. He keeps hearing these fights. These fights are going on in the back. He's like, I don't know why I tolerated them for so long. And he goes and kills them both, and then goes right back to fighting Jamie Foxx.
I thought you will never do that. Now back to this.
No, when you said when she said Gerard Butler, the first thought in my head was Ben Stein. Like dead serious. Never been seen as anything but serious, just Ben Stein. But we ended up with Benedict Wong too. That actually works. Not Benedict. Actually, that's right. Benedict Wong.
Yeah.
They cast two Benedicts in the lead of that movie. Benedict Cumberbatch and Benedict Wong. That threw me for a minute. Like I was not reading that correctly. Whatever. Okay. Are there any other fun little elements that we can I like the idea of like Benedict Wong. This guy's supposed to ascend the throne, but he has to get married to ascend the throne. So he has to ascend the throne, but he has to have somebody that he's married to be able to ascend the throne. And the reason why Jackie Chan doesn't want this to happen is because this girl was supposed to be meant for him, not like him and this girl are in love. Not Jamie Kennedy. That's a different movie altogether. Jamie Foxx is supposed to marry this girl, and when they meet, they have more chemistry than Jackie Chan and this girl did. We need a female lead opposite
Ramona Flowers. What's her fucking name?
Oh, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Mary Elizabeth Winstead is supposed to be this empress, so to speak.
And she's just kind of like, why the fuck am I here?
And
I don't care any of this.
Like Jackie,
I wanted to have like fucking what's her fucking name? God damn it! Why don't I remember anybody's names?
Because it is the day after 4th of July, and we're all a little hungover. Maybe just a little.
My favorite fucking person ever. Hang on, what's her fucking name?
It's your Aubrey Plaza?
Yes, Aubrey Plaza.
Why am I able to think of that and that's your favorite person?
Yeah, right? You knew what I was talking about.
I think actually Aubrey Plaza might fit a little bit better, but she's a little young for the role. That's why I liked the idea of Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah.
But I
prefer Mary
Aubrey Plaza's like attitude.
I want to say that she was in a Melania situation where she was completely uninterested in Jackie Chan altogether, but was willing to ascend the throne just to have the position of power.
Yeah.
But when it came to Jamie Foxx, she was really interested in this guy. Like, she was just dead-faced and like, I'm just going to go with this because it's going to mean power for me and I'll just deal with you. And then she met Jamie Foxx. It was like really into the idea of them both ascending the throne together. Didn't want to deal with Jackie Chan anymore. So he's pissed off because he basically would have had a trophy wife with this woman, and she's not a trophy wife with this guy. Like, there's a connection. So, yeah, I want to say, like, I think like Mary Elizabeth Winstead is like of the age to really kind of play that role and do it well. I think Aubrey Plaza might still be a little too young. Opposite of these two guys, anyway.
True.
Talk about a May-December romance right there. So, yeah.
Yeah. Things.
Damn. Where is there anywhere else to go with that at this point? I think we did that one.
Oh, man.
I think we really quickly fleshed both of these ideas out. We didn't stumble like we normally do.
Yeah.
We're feeling creative.
Fuck it, you know what, I got a deck of cards right here next to me. I think we fleshed that out really well. I'm gonna grab a couple of these ducking high cards real quick to end the podcast.
Sorry.
Just so, we have a little bit of a high note. We're both high notes, but we'll do some... Alright. And, give me a... Talk for a moment, because otherwise there's gonna be a lot of dead air.
Owen, what are you doing? Stop chewing on the blanket.
I got a good one right here. Here's one to discuss. What everyday action would be so much funnier if you did a tennis grunt every time you performed it?
I mean, every time I sit up in my bed, I do that. Anyway, just...
But, like, what everyday action, outside of just sitting up in bed, would be
Walking.
so much funnier? Walking? Every step.
Just every time you take a step.
Isn't that sort of what, like, Link does in the Legend of Zelda games?
Pretty much. Okay. I was thinking, like, brushing your teeth. Just,
You got like a Johnny Bravo thing going on right there.
right?
That was Johnny Bravo.
Yes. Okay. I get what you're saying there. Oh, come on,
He
man.
does this whole thing and they go like,
Oh, come on, your mama gives John Bravo some sugar. Yeah.
Hello, 911.
Friggin' Bruce Campbell is like a living Johnny Bravo, I'm telling you. All right. Next question. What would be the craziest thing to see at a senior living facility? Sex swing.
I was gonna say a sex.
an orgy.
Oh, God. This is a big old, wrinkled, saggy orgy. Just...
Oh, that reminds me. There's a... What was it? In a Jackbox game, in a game of Quiplash, there was a prompt that was like, a good name for an elderly nudist colony, and I came up with California Raisins.
Oh no!
Oh, my God.
I love it.
That's pretty bad.
I see myself as a 75-year-old joining one of those.
Sacramount Forest. Oh, whew.
The California raisins.
Mind you, I'd have...
That's horrible.
No, I think some like fucking voodoo witchcraft shit. Like fucking the hereditary fucking elder shit.
Okay.
Because they're all naked anyway.
I would have trouble thinking of a
Yeah.
name for that just because it would require me to have the image of naked old nudists in my head.
That shit was scary. The fucking
Okay.
old naked people, they're just like staring, smiling at you in the corner of the fucking pitch black room while your mom's like sawing off her fucking head with a piece of glass.
No.
Like, it's terrifying. I don't blame the kid for jumping out a window.
All right. Everyone take a quick guess. What is currently the most expensive hot dog being sold in the world?
$50.
Like, how expensive is it? Or
What is the most expensive hot dog currently being sold in the world?
I mean, I want to say $50, but I feel like it's more like in $1,000 range.
It's a lobster sausage or something?
Probably.
It's a hot dog, but it's well, we're just trying to. I want to see who can get to
With,
be
like,
the closest
gold
here. That's the
flakes
point of the
and shit in the
question.
bun.
whatever it is, it's not being sold as a hot dog. It's like some really
Gourmet
expensive
shit.
brand.
It's actually being
It's
sold.
gonna be lobster sausage with some caviar. You know when they put toppings on the hot dogs like sauerkraut? It'll be caviar part of it.
It is actually being sold out of a food truck in Tokyo.
So
Whoa. I'm gonna look that up.
$25.
Don't look it up till after we're done here. This is the point of the
Okay.
question.
Tokyo, so it's like in yen or something.
We're talking American dollars, though. So the
The equivalent.
equivalent in American dollars.
Between like $25 and $50.
Okay, so you got 50. Whoever's the closest wins here. So I need an answer from everyone.
300?
Okay, we got Omar at 300.
I guess I'll split the difference, 125.
125. Okay, so
There you
the
go.
closest is Nathan. The most...
Hey,
My apology. It was not in Tokyo. I'm gonna have to apologize. Let me read this answer real quick. The answer is a Seattle-based food truck, the Tokyo Dogs, sells a $169 hot dog topped with truffles, caviar, Wagyu beef, and more.
nice.
$169 for a hot dog.
Omar was
I have
right
to
about
say
the
nice
half
just
dog.
because it's 169.
I would think like for it to be the most expensive anything that you're gonna eat, it's gonna have some exotic stuff poured on it.
Right. Well, you said caviar. You called it.
I mean, who
Yeah.
the fuck is gonna pay $160 for pig assholes?
It exists because somebody's willing to pay for it. If nobody was willing to pay for it, it would not exist. There has to be a market, otherwise why fucking create it? You know?
Gross.
Alright. We're going to go for the last one here. What show should never have been taken off the air?
Firefly.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. That was not given a chance. And it was a really good show.
I didn't
Carter.
even have to think about that.
What television show should never have been taken off the air?
Parasite the Maxim and the Mist show on Netflix.
Yeah,
They only made one season, and it was really fucking good. And they didn't do anything with it after that one season.
I agree. That one should have definitely been given a second season at the very least.
Yeah.
I think
Agent Carter.
Agent Carter. I
Yeah.
think my big problem is like they don't do it with sitcoms. They actually have legitimate ends to a lot of sitcoms, like something that ties it up. But when it comes to like action, dramatic, sci-fi shows, a lot of the times they cancel the show and just leave it up in the air. And they don't give you like that conclusive ending. So it's like it sits here on a cliffhanger and you're going, well, what the fuck? Why didn't you just finish that?
Yeah, I guess it's sort of like there are some shows that are good, but they plan to have a good ending, and then it's like, no, that shouldn't have continued. They wanted it to end there. It makes sense for it to end there. But then you have the shows that, they just pull the plug on it,
I think
and it's just left unsatisfying.
Or some shows that they pull the plug on and it requires them to create a very unnatural ending to the show. Like with Lost,
Right.
that ending sucked. I'm sorry. I loved that show, and when they ended it that way, oh.
I watched like 2 seasons of Lost and never finished it.
Honestly, it was a good show through and through. The ending to the show, that's the one reason I've never rewatched the show is because now that I know the ending that they gave it makes me want to fucking scream. It really does.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying they just like half-assed the ending.
They did. It was horrible. Just kind of like what they did with the X-Files, where they kind of half-assed the whole thing just to kind of write their way out of it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the only other cardinal sin. Rather than ending a show with no actual ending, it's ending it and making it bad. Like, giving no respect to your viewers at all.
Then there are the shows that it seems like they had their good idea that they ran with for a few seasons, and then it's like they run out of ideas and it just slowly loses steam.
I'm going to say this, and it's an unpopular opinion, but I think they did that with Supernatural. They should have ended it several seasons ago, and they just keep dragging it out. Oh my god. I am watching it because I've invested my life 13 seasons. I'm watching the 14th and 15th now. But, oh my god, they could have ended it when they met fucking God, for Christ's sakes, and they did not end it there. Just, how... You can't go... There's no bigger plot point at that point. When you are basically battling God, of all things, and you decide, well, there's other things we can do here. No, what are you doing? No, they had a battle with God. Nothing else is going to be more important than what they just did. Right here, you're just making filler for the people that are going to be disappointed when you end it.
Yeah, I think the show Once Upon a Time was sort of like that too, a little bit, because it's like they have this concept where all these like Disney property, they're like Disney princess characters and a few other characters are like in the same show, and they're like they weave their stories together in a way that is kind of interesting at first, but then like over time they keep throwing in more characters that it just starts to seem like, okay, I get the pattern here. When a storyline starts to seem a little bit stale, throw in another character and figure out how that weaves into the mix. And that just,
Right, because
I don't know, for me that seemed to not be interesting after a while.
the fact that they even tried to do a spin-off of that show based off of Alice in Wonderland just bothered me. It's like, why? It was not necessary. No. Don't get me wrong, I liked the original the book and all the original lore behind Alice in Wonderland, but they did not need to have a show, that kind of show at the very least, be spun off of Once Upon a Time. They should have just made it its own thing. You know? Whatever. Hey, ruin shit as you see fit, and if it makes you money, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Is
what
everyone
happens.
watching anything like new?
New? I recently watched Picard. That new.
Picard's good.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! I started watching Dark on Netflix. It's
Okay.
this like German-based show. It's really fucking good.
What's the name?
Dark.
Dark.
Oh, Dark.
Yeah, it's like this German show. It's really fucking good. Y'all need to check it out. Watch it in German. I mean, I put it on in English when I'm like not paying attention and I'm like working and shit. But when I can actually like pay attention to the screen and shit, I'll put it on in German and put on the subtitles. But like it's got like wormholes and like people trying to change the past and kids going missing. And one of the main characters, Ulrich, kind of looks like the main character from Hannibal, the other Netflix show.
Yes.
And fucking, coincidentally, Ulrich's son like goes missing in the show, and like 33 years before, his brother went missing when he was a child, and like it's all connected and shit. And fucking like coincidentally, the guy that looks like Ulrich that plays Hannibal is Mads Mikkelsen, and his brother's name is Mads, and his son's name is Mikkel.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought it was like funny.
So here's a quick question I've got. You've seen Hannibal, correct? Has everybody here seen Hannibal?
The series?
The series, yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Has anybody here seen Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are those, is that the lead from that show, those two shows, are they the same? Am I wrong? The same guy? The guy that plays Iron Fist, is he not the guy that plays opposite Hannibal Lecter in Hannibal?
1 second. Let me look.
I'm not looking it up right now just because
I don't think so. But yeah, they do look alike.
Let me see.
It may be
I'm
two
looking
completely different people that I'm thinking of, but
I'm looking at his filmography. His name is Finn Jones. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see. I'm not seeing Hannibal.
no, okay. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just mentally just mashing their faces together for no reason.
Maybe. Hannibal. Do. That's not the fucking 2013. Nope, that is the one that I'm looking for. The show. Hugh Dancy.
Hugh Dancy, okay. Alright, no problem. I was just trying to... Because I'm not looking at anything. I wasn't actually looking it up or researching or Googling shit. I just, like, for some reason, their faces look similar in my head, and, yeah.
Yeah, they look a little similar, but they're not the same person.
I believe the guy from Iron Fist is British.
I think that's what a lot of people do with, what is that guy? Owen something or other. Oh, Clive Owen. And, Gerard Butler, they do that all the time with.
Yeah.
It's like... They kind of look similar, but like they're like the British and American versions of the same people
Of each other.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just turn you guys for a minute because I want to show you that Ving Rhames in the movie that I watched today really took me off guard. Full head of hair. I'm used to seeing him bald, and I did not expect to see the Afro flat top. I really did not. So
What movie is this?
that's Dave that I just watched, free on Hulu.
Nice.
But I have not seen Vin Rhames with hair in such a long time. It makes me wonder if that might be a toupee. Or if he...
What year is it from?
Oh, God. Let's see. I think this is 93, if I'm not mistaken. It's early 90s.
That could be his hair.
Let's see. Dave, movie, film, year? 93, exactly, on the dot.
That could be his hair.
It's possible. I mean, what makes me wonder, though, I mean, he doesn't look like he has a receding hairline at that point. But I'm wondering at what point in his career it became necessary to shave his head bald like that. If it was just like a choice, or if he actually had a receding hairline and he decided it's better to just, for my image, to just shave my head than continue to deal with the receding hairline.
He probably went like me.
Easier maintenance.
My baldness is back here, not here.
Oh. You know, that actually is a good point. I didn't really see the back of his head too much in this movie. So that may actually be the point. Maybe he has like a little yarmulke toupee going on there. Like just.
That's why I just decided to just go off with it.
That weird friar tuck thing going on, you know?
Yeah, that's what my baldness is. It was never here.
I'm starting to get the widow's peak right here. The hair is starting to creep its way up this way.
I see it. It looks like one of those apartment complexes.
It's like I used to have a lot more hair there, and now the hair is just kind of creeping its way up here, like it's receding from my head. It's a little scared of my face, you know, just and go to the back. We can't see it. Go to the back. All right. That being said, I'm done talking about male pattern baldness. Anything else before we head off for the day, guys?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then I will go ahead and thank our guest, Nathan, for being on the podcast again. Again, you are more than welcome to come back. We like you here. And we also are very
pleasure.
very loud about calling out the man that is usually the fourth on our podcast. Where the fuck are you, Seth? God damn it.
Seth's never coming back. Let's face it.
He is. Once we're gathering in houses again, he'll be back, but he'll be the last one that I invite. Do you know why?
Because he's never coming back.
Of all of us, God loves Seth. Of all of us, he is the only one out there constantly like hanging out with people, partying. He's constantly going out and doing shit. And he's the one guy that'll bring the Koro into my house.
Yeah.
He's not doing the social distancing thing. He does not do social distance. And he is also a waiter at the local 99, so he's constantly on top of people serving food. So
yeah, he's a serial socializer. I love Seth, but I also wouldn't. Yeah, no.
So, I mean, we could invite him in, but I am going to have to set up like a decontamination chamber in front of my door and just spray him down like he's got fucking nuclear waste all over him. You know?
Airlock.
Just an airlock, spray him down, just disinfect him from head to toe, you know. Close your eyes, this'll sting. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here for the 4th of July podcast on the 5th of July, and it'll probably be released on the 6th of July. Because I'm waiting to see Mr. Ben wants to do some artwork for us. So, did you guys get to see the recent artwork that he did for the Judgment Night podcast? How damn well he did for Emilio Estevez's face.
That was pretty dope.
That, and he did a great job on who was it last weekend?
The Frighteners.
I'm trying to remember the actor's name though. Fuck.
Our brains are shut off.
They are so shut off. The guy that played the lead villain in The Frighteners. Busey. God, I can't remember his first name though. Gary, it's not Gary Busey, it's his son. That's gonna bother me now. I'm gonna go off air just because I don't want to sit here.
Hang on, we're not going off air. We're gonna find the name before we go off air.
Busey.
Dude.
Busey.
Busey?
No.
Jake Busey.
Jake Busey. Jake Busey. Thank you. Because I had Gary Busey stuck in my head, but he's the guy that voiced the bear from Over the Hedge. Also did
Nice.
one of the most painful movies that I've ever had to sit down and watch, even though for some reason it was a romantic staple in the 80s, The Prince of Tides.
I didn't watch that.
Hey, if you ever get the chance, I'm just saying this, and I know I'm going to alienate an entire section of folks, but if you ever get this chance to sit down and watch a romantic comedy or dramatic film starring Barbara Streisand, run. Run, 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 run. Just run.
That sounds awful.
I know I'm alienating like a certain section of people that might listen to us, but well, she has got a prominent foothold as a fantastic stage performer and a musician, a singer. The acting thing there, I'm not the guy that watches Funny Girl or watches the dramatic Barbara Streisand films. I just can't. I can't. Yeah. I've had so many romantic comedies crammed down my throat over the past few years that I am not going that far to that area. Romantic dramas are just so much worse than romantic comedy. It's like I get enough drama in my own life. I don't need this shit. No.
Yeah.
I'm good. I am so good. Okay. We'll see you guys later. Thank you for listening. And sorry for rambling on for 5 minutes.